Okay, so this is something new that I'm trying as far as my reaction videos. This is brought to you by StreamYards. Getting into the video, so maybe 3D printing cool helmets like these behind me aren't or is not really your thing, but maybe you're somebody that's into sports. I don't know if you guys are aware, but technology has definitely changed a lot of sports that we see today. I remember back in the day, well, I wasn't alive back then, but back in the day, we went from the old leather skin helmets in football to now carbon fiber 3D prints. If you've watched the series of the NBA finals last season, you would have noticed that Jalen Brown actually had a 3D printed face mask on. And when he took that off, sadly, he got an elbow. So, mama came and said, boy, put that thing back on. Even today's basketball during the dunk contest, you've seen the first 3D printed basketball that was introduced to the NBA. So there are a lot of different technologies that are being incorporated into 3D printing and being incorporated into everyday sports. And again, everything that you're about to see is capable and achievable right at home, right in your closet. So let's get into today's video. And this is going to be starting out with the NBA and 3D printing. Let's check it out.
Every few years in the football world, there's a new groundbreaking technology slash innovation that completely changes the game. And as it relates to helmets, that change usually comes from the market leader, Riddell. And on this episode, we're giving you an exclusive look at their latest installment, the Axiom. I'm Leland. Welcome to Sports Dissected, the series. All right, guys. So I'm here with Mr. Thad Hyde, the Vice President of Research and Development. Did I get
research and product development? Yes.
close?
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not.
And so we're here talking about the new Axiom, right? And what are some of the things that make the Axiom different compared to some of the previous models you guys have had?
Well, it's a long list. Everything about the Axiom is different than previous models. It's got all new component design. It's a completely different fitting system, new shell, new face guards, new way of making the face guards. It's the first helmet that's ever come standard with a optical visor on it. Everything about it.
So for helmets, there are different companies that do make helmets. I guess not all 3D printed, but Rydell is definitely. I think Wilson does make some helmets, but Rydell, like if you actually played football, you kind of like know why to go with Rydell.
Is different. The fitting system for Axiom is based on a smart technology that we developed 5 or 6 years ago for our precision helmet platform, where we scan a player's head and put that scan data through a fitting algorithm that chooses the shell and the internal liner system.
So even this, I'm gonna get to in later, a little bit later in the video. But the way that they're scanning his head, like this sock that they have on his head, I just use like a do-rag or like a racer sock that you could just put right over your head. But that's just basically to hold down your hair so that way you get like more of an accurate scanning. And again, this stuff you can do right at home.
System that best fits the player. This is a type of test apparatus, helmet test apparatus, that's called a linear impactor, or it's called a pneumatic ram in the helmet standards. But it's really designed to replicate the helmeted head of one player striking the helmeted head of another player.
And if you've ever played football, that is not the best feeling at all, going straight head to head. I remember I was a younger kid playing in Pop Warner. It's kind of weird, but I had a cold and I went straight head to head with somebody in what we call the pit. So if you don't know what the pit is when you kind of lay down. One person is on offense, one person's on defense. The coach blows the whistle, you both stand up and crash. Yeah, I got the snot knocked out of me, just literally, but I felt a lot better after.
This is historically a very traditional way of evaluating helmets. Football helmets have been subject to this standard since 1973. It's a barrier impact, so it's a 60-inch drop onto a steel anvil. It's a very severe test of the helmet. I mean, there's almost no steel anvils on the football field.
This is still a good test. Like you said, there are no steel anvils on the floor, but most concussions don't come from that head-on-head action. Yeah, I might have seen stars during that, but it's more so when you hit the ground and that quick stop. That's usually what causes like the concussion. So this is definitely a good test. If you've seen Tua Tagovailoa, he kind of experienced this abrupt head stopping, and you know what happened there.
All right, team. So we're here with Vittorio, the director of product creation.
Yes.
So, kind of, what is your role as far as with the Axum build?
With the Axiom build, well, being the director of product creation, I'm kind of in charge of the research development. Anything that is going to be created. The Axiom was a ground up helmet. It's a smart helmet, so it has a sensor included in the helmet. Comes standard with the helmet that monitors. I should say, senses impacts and is able to give feedback to the equipment manager, or really the coach and athletic trainer, to see what's going on field. We've implemented and released a scanning app that you can scan with an iPad.
Okay, so this scanning app, I don't think we would have access to this, but there is a free app called Scandy Pro, and with Scandy Pro, they allow you to take one screen capture a day and actually get to use that. So that's how I created the scan of my own head, which I'll show you guys here. And basically, that's how I make sure that all these helmets behind me fit my head perfectly. So again, you might not have access to this particular app, but there are several different apps that you can use straight from your phone and scan. Creality actually has a Creality Ferret where you can actually make it gives you like a tripod kind of, it almost looks like a, what's it called? Like a, no, it just looks like a regular camera, but it's something that you can use to get high quality scans.
Or your mobile phone, so that's readily available. So now a player can scan his peers or his teammates. A mom can scan his son or daughter. Coaches can scan their athletes. In order to purchase an Axiom helmet, we need the head scan. We need your head scan. And what we do is we take that head scan via the app. Very easy to acquire the head scan now, and it automatically gets uploaded to our server. This is actually Ezekiel Elliott. So head scan gets populated, brought into our 3D software. After that, these are some of the points that get analyzed. We analyze approximately a few thousand points on the head scan. We know where those points are. What are the paths that best fit this head? Then a build matrix gets generated based on that specific head scan, and this gets sent to our manufacturing plant in North Ridgeville, Ohio, and they will pull those pads from the shelf, build them into a helmet, throw the sensor in, tie everything to that specific ID, the player ID, and ship it off. And now that you have a helmet that is specifically built to that player, and the only thing that has to happen is player puts it on his head.
That's pretty crazy. Again, it's the same technology that you have the ability to use, and you don't just have to scan your head. You can literally scan anything. If there's a certain tool that you have, you can scan that tool and 3D print it. You can scan a hamper, a lighting stand, anything that you might need, you can actually scan and then convert to STL and then print just like that.
The big game is finally here. Some people go to the big game party for the chili. Others go for the chips and dip. But only those in the know are there for the real action. Action that could only be...
Take a full scan of your head. Okay. This will give us all the dimensions, all the specs that we need to help build this personalized helmet for you, build you a true fit Axiom helmet. So to start off, just going to have you sign your signature in here. All right. So now I'm going to just take two profile pictures of you, one from the front, one from the side. What this does is it helps our team to understand like your head, the map of your head, your hairstyles, what's underneath the hood, underneath the helmet.
So this part you don't really have to do with Scandy Pro. If you don't have a headstock and you still just scan your head, it'll give you the same information that he's basically saying. But this part you don't really need.
All right. So the next step, I'm going to have you put this hood on, and you're going to put your head through this part. Okay. So this colored line, the blue stripe, we want that on the back of your neck.
Okay.
Looking for my head sock so I can show you guys
So
an
I'm gonna go ahead and
example.
start this next process.
Normal brain, brain FM brain. Normal brain, brain FM brain. Normal focus.
So now, as I walked around, it takes a series of photos and it sends all these up to the cloud.
One thing that I will mention that he kind of didn't do here is you see all the background behind him, so like the glass window, everything like that. You kind of don't want to have that. You kind of want to do this like on a blank wall if you can. So if you have like a tripod, something to hold the phone while you have just like a blank wall behind you, and then you could just basically spin around. The background kind of won't get caught into it, but it's best to do it from home with like Scandy Pro using one of those. It's best to have like a blank background or like a wall behind you so nothing else gets caught in it.
They all sew all these photos together and then send it back down to us in the form of a 3D model. So shortly here, you can see right now it's generating your model.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as this pops up, we'll be able to view your 3D model.
And this is literally what Scandy Pro would do for you. So after I did my scan, it shows you something like this. It might not be fully put together. There might be like some pixelated parts that you might have to fix, but there are other softwares like Mesh Mixer, so on and so forth, that you can go in and fine tune a little, but you will get like a clean picture of your head that you can, again, convert to STO straight from there and then send it right over. So this is kind of basically what it would look like. It might not have like all the color and stuff that they look like. My model is just like a yellow blob that looks just like me. So it might not just look this like personable, but you get the point.
So now that I have this scan, now I can go see what kind of pads I need.
Yeah, we can go get a helmet built for you.
All right, so Brian, you are the
general manager of Insight Analytics.
Okay, and what is that? What does that entail?
So Insight Analytics is our new subscription service we're offering to teams, where we use the impact data we collect off of helmets and provide reporting.
Skip by this. This is just him talking about how they
So
get all the
collecting is
stats, like after every
impact that
hit, so on and
happens
so
in the
forth. How
world.
they
And then,
basically
our operator here is
the
going to get a
information on
pick
it.
sheet with all the parts, and they're going to go through this aisle and just going to go through all your shopping list. Grab one of these, one of these, one of these to get you those liners that fit your head exactly.
So then, what am I looking for?
So this is good.
For a brutal sport, I can imagine like this is like the most fun part of a helmet, especially like the grill that you see like to the top right of his head. Those grills that you put on, it varies between each player, but you kind of want to have it like a little bit mean looking, especially if you're like a receiver or a running back or a linebacker. So this part is like a fun process of like getting the whole helmet together.
I tell you, in each of our internal liners, this is our lower front, upper front, crown. It's going to tell you what part number to put in.
Okay.
And that's all based on the scan data we got.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
I think we're good to go.
We're good.
Let's go check out.
All right.
Okay, so Drew Vole,
Yes, sir.
I gave you a new title, Insight Ops.
Insight Ops.
But what's the official title?
Insight Operations Lead.
Okay, and what is that entitled?
Yeah, so basically what we do is we basically track the Insight sensors from the moment they come in here, from the moment they leave the building. So not only in the new helmet build process, but also in the reconditioning process. We test these every time during reconditioning. So we make sure the serial number on the unit is tracked properly, and we're keeping track of that for warranty purposes and for the school.
So as soon as this thing is fully assembled, which we'll do later, it's ready to go. Like it's already tracking my information.
So I think this goes into the concussion protocol as well. I'm not sure how quickly they can get this data, but I think that's why now when certain players get hit a certain way, even though most players are going to lie to you and be like, yeah, I'm good. But I think this sensor will like let you like alert you like this person took like this much of beating to his head. I don't know how if they do it like by PSI or by square inch or whatever, but I think they're able to tell like whether it's like green, yellow, or red, like how hard of a hit that actually was.
Or could potentially be.
Yeah, within minutes, it's going to upload. It's going to go from our production database to our impact database. And that way we know that when this sensor takes a hit, we know it's Leland on the field who just took that hit. So I can demonstrate that real quick if you want to. So we'll start here with the RFID, and this contains all the player information, right? Like the player name, the team, his build configuration, how they customize the build for the Axiom. So we'll scan that to start. And then what we're doing is we're assigning the sensor to that RFID and therefore assigning it to that player. So like I mentioned, when this sensor takes a hit, we know that it's this player taking the hit. Now, this is a huge advantage for us because in years past, this is something we had to rely on the coaches to do or our reps to do to go out in the field, because when the helmets leave the building, we don't know who they're going to. You know, now we know it's going to Leland's head before it even leaves the building. So we can take full advantage of that and maximize that opportunity.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
All right, so Rick, what is Matt working on right now?
Today, Matt's working on one of our newest helmets, which is the Axiom.
Okay.
So his first step was to scan the actual RFID.
He's unbothered.
Tag and make sure that we, marry the helmet up with the actual to confirm, that this helmet actually belongs to
me,
to you. So if it's Leland's helmet, we want to make sure that as we perform
He's
the scan,
done this a couple of
that it
times.
matches up to the profile, so that Leland gets the helmet that Leland actually wore.
When the Axiom first came in, what was your initial thoughts of the overall helmet?
It was different. We're a lot more excited about it. We're a lot more excited that our end customers are excited about it.
It's crazy.
So, we're looking for Axiom to be around for a while, and it'd be the preferred overall helmet for Riddell.
See, when I was playing football, it was like small, medium, or large kind of thing. That's all you got.
As you can see, we've taken our flex technology to the next level, where our traditional flex was only at the flex impact here, but now we have it in all 4 areas. So again, our ultimate goal is for complete player safety. And if you choose to wear a Riddell helmet, you're getting the absolute best.
All right, so Rick, we're here with Becca, Rebecca, aka Becca, and you're going to show us the decaling process.
There's no real formal process.
Oh, look at that. No sanding, no paint, no nothing, just some decals. What a life they live.
Set up to it, but some operators like to go stripe first, side decals next, and some like to go side decals and then stripe.
So I guess for each team, it will come in like a base, like for Patriots, I guess their base is like silver, and then they would just stick these decals and stuff on there. That's got to be an intense job, because from doing my Deathstroke helmet with carbon fiber wrap on it, as you can see, it didn't come out the best. So I can only imagine having to get those decals on there just right for a professional team.
All right, so you said align the sports.
Take a look at your spec. No pressure, Leland.
Yeah, I see. All eyes on me. I would say about right.
Let's see how he's going.
Here? Maybe, potentially.
She's like rookie.
See what you got.
How are we looking?
It's not bad.
Before I unveil my side, guys, let me put this little disclaimer out. This is my first time. Well, second, but only thing left now is
extra cheesy.
Gotta get it fitted. Make sure it fits me. And you on my glasses? Thank you, sir. All right. Tighten me up.
And then go out to war.
How's that feel?
Yeah.
Good.
Ready for action.
Ready for action?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's do it.
Appreciate it.
So again, that's 3D printing in sports as far as football, but as I mentioned, basketball has its hand in it as well. So let's go ahead and check out that next video. Nah, that song is stuck in my head.
Every month, this Airbnb pays me about $2,700 in semi-passive income.
When I started at Wilson, my boss, Kevin Krishak, charged me with the task of reinventing the basketball.
So again, just listen to those words that she said. She was given the task to reinvent the basketball. They just reinvented the way helmets were made. This is why, like, I push this to you guys, that this additive manufacturing can change the world, because you're able to use a technology that can create in ways that no other form of creation could basically do. And the production time is so quick as well.
A project like this begins again because we go back to, we're always trying to look at what's, new cutting edge technologies.
The technology that really struck me was additive manufacturing, because it just enables so much change about the ball that can.
Additive manufacturing is just 3D printing. It just means adding a substance on top of something to make a full product.
Completely alter the athlete's experience, the way it's made, everything that we care about. The engineers started working together with industrial design. So bringing those two together, we were able to come up with several designs that we then later iterated on that resembled a basketball, felt like a basketball, but also performed like a basketball.
Also, to any females out there, I know there are some females that do subscribe to the channel. Like, look at this as a female who's doing something in sports as well. So doesn't matter, man, woman, creative mind is a creative mind. There's no gender to it.
And the most important part of the formula is the player, right? Because if the player doesn't love it, then it's not going to be a product or a prototype.
We met with General Lattice. We made our design with them, and it was translated to a digital file that can be read very easily by the printer. We sent that file to EOS.
Working with a brand like Wilson is a little bit different for EOS because we are traditionally working with aerospace companies, automotive companies, medical device companies.
There are companies that you can search on Google, like around your local area, where if you have an idea of something that you want to 3D print, but you don't have a 3D printer, they can pretty much do it for you.
Additive manufacturing was the right choice for the
almost like how Staples will do most of your stuff for you as well.
This prototype, because first off, it's literally the only technology on Earth that could bring this concept to life.
So what happens is there's a powder bed that's swept across, and then a laser almost etch-a-sketches a pattern in 2 dimensions. And as this process iterates over and over, you end up with a 3-dimensional ball. Removing that powder from the ball without damaging the ball is kind of like an archaeological dig. And at that point, the powder is sealed using a smoothing technique, and then dye is penetrated and reacted with the polymeric surface.
All of these guys skip the sanding and painting process.
After that process was complete, we would send the ball to our NBA test facility in Ada, Ohio, where they would put the ball through rigorous testing.
This is only a dot on the development path.
It's pretty cool for a basketball. My only thing is if your fingers can kind of get stuck within that ball, that will be I don't know if they're thinking of putting some kind of wrap around it, but even in the dunk contest, it looked just like this.
But we're really excited about the first step that we have here.
I mean, that's our goal. That's our job, is to push boundaries, change perceptions of the brand.
This is what we call the one. Basically, this is like, let's make one and let people enjoy it and understand where we need to move forward in the future.
To see this narrow into one single product and all the decisions be made is just such an incredible process, such a life-changing process for me.
So again, as always, guys, think, what would you create? You have this ability right at home, right within your fingertips. Again, you can use things like Blender or Blender to create your own STL files, or you can use free apps like Scandy Pro to actually scan yourself and then create files like that. So again, with this technology, what would you create? Besides that, it's BZ Comics. Peace.